Yo, what's up? It's Pika calling in. Singapore as always, you know it, and it is Monday night tonight. So, as you all know, I was off today, so I got to chill at home and do a couple of the things I need to do at home. Um, didn't quite do as much as I wanted to, but that's all right. I mean, I still got it done. Um, the most pressing matter was the blog post for Crown for Success, so it's up on the new blog, CROWNEDFORSUSSES.me. So the new blog post is actually called The Mompreneur, and I was actually explaining how I feel about being a mom, a single mom, and an entrepreneur at the same time. There is a relevant quote from Tory Burch in there, and she says she has trouble trying to balance being a great mom and a great businesswoman. And actually, that's the kind of thing that I end up doing at the moment. Those are the kinds of decisions I'm faced with today. So, what I wanted to talk to you about was my decision-making process. Um, as I was growing up, a lot of you know that I was born in Singapore. I was here till I was 5. Moved to London, moved to Australia, moved to Indonesia, finally ended up in the US, right? But I lived in an ashram called Sachidananda Ashram Yogaville in the middle of Buckingham County. I was there for about 10 years and lived physically there for 10 years, but I was in the States for 20. And we went back and forth between Yogaville and where I was living at the time, which was Charlottesville. And then eventually I moved on my own to Williamsburg, Newport News, and then Hampton. So but Yogaville was always a part of my life. So even though I didn't physically live there for the whole 20 years that I was there, I lived there for about 10 years straight. And in that community, you have a lot of different religions. You have a lot of different kinds of people from all walks of life, from all over the world, just kind of coming together, trying to live together peacefully with no problems. There was like a distribution center that employed people to ship the books and stuff that Swamiji had curated along the way, the religious books, enlightening books, self-help books, stuff like that. And then there's also, I believe there's a farm out there as well that grows our own vegetables and stuff, so we're able to be quite self-sustained. There is Sivananda Hall is actually where everyone comes together to eat meals. So whenever we can, like on special occasions and stuff, I would always go in there and volunteer to serve lunch and take care of the people around there. So it's very, very service oriented, which is where I got a lot of my hospitality habits from. But my decision making skills also come from there. So Swamiji, who is Swami Sachidananda, he was almost like my grandfather. I can't remember any time that he wasn't around when I was growing up. So he was a big part of my life, a big part of the teachings, a big part of my philosophy, like how I live my life. And he would tell us that when you go to make a decision, you need to weigh the pros and cons, obviously. But for him, it wasn't, what is the good things about this and what's the bad things about it. It's more like, okay, you tally up on both sides how many people it's going to affect. So how many people will it adversely affect and how many people will it benefit? But you cannot be in any one of those two columns. It has to be completely selfless. You have to do it based on just, the weight of the decision itself and how many people will hurt and how many people it will help. So that has kind of guided me throughout my life. And while people might think, oh my God, she's such a martyr, that's not the intention behind it at all. It's basically to take out your own selfish wants and needs. Because to be a good leader, I believe you need to put other people first. If you look at a family unit, you look at the parents, right? So most times, because it's prevalent in today's society, it's a patriarchal society. So you normally look to the father to be the one to make all the decisions and the sacrifices and everything. You kind of look to the father to make the big decisions, the hard decisions, to tell the family what to do, which direction they're going to go, and all this stuff. Now, in ancient times, it actually was a matriarchal society where they looked to the mother to actually, know best because she was the nurturing one or whatever. In my own family, because my father was gone a lot on business, it was basically a matriarchal society until it was a big money situation. At that point, we would call my dad and we'd figure out what to do next. But for the most part, my mom made all the decisions. I basically was raised in a single parent household because my dad was gone a lot. They're still married. They're happily married. They're together now. But due to circumstances or what have you, the condom or whatever it was that said that it wasn't a good idea to be in the same house at the same time, whatever. But he was overseas on business, and my mom was the one to take care of us. Now she hustled hard. She did everything she could, and she made sure we were taken care of. But like I said, when I watch those people, you are basically a product of your environment, right? So I'm watching her do all these things by herself, and I don't know if I learned not to have to share the responsibility of a decision, or if I just took the lead on it because the decision needed to be made. And if I go to ask my ex-husband, for a decision, he would kind of falter and wane and wax and wait to answer stuff. And these are things that I need to, right away, I need to get that stuff done. So I use that same philosophy that I mentioned earlier. I would weigh who's it going to hurt, who's it going to benefit, and, decide then how I was going to do things. Now, part of me had to weigh those same options when I became an entrepreneur, because I wasn't sure what kind of business I was going to build, and I knew there were different aspects of me I wanted to portray to the world, to showcase talents or whatever it is. There were certain parts of me that I wanted people to know about, and I thought that if I shared those parts of me, it would really help the masses. It would help people going through the same situations. It's kind of like, if you've ever contemplated suicide and finally you get over that time period in your life and you become stronger for it, you kind of feel the need to go out and share your story when it's relevant, not to go share and brag, obviously, but share when it's relevant so that you could help people get over the same situations. If you have insight because you've lived through it, it's easier for you to help coach, help mentor, help people get through whatever situations they're in. So for me, I felt like the decision-making process had to be revisited one more time when I decided to become an entrepreneur. I decided to go into business for myself. I decided to build a brand, and eventually I wanted to coach. I still want to coach. But part of that means I need to reveal the ugliest parts of myself. I need to be okay with telling people, or telling the world, basically, that I've lived through this, this, and this. And that because I've lived through these things firsthand, that makes me somewhat of an expert in my field, as far as experience, as far as emotion, as far as managing the stress that comes with whatever these situations are. But along with that, I needed to make the decision about how much I would reveal. There are aspects of my life where I've decided not to reveal names or relationships because they will do greater harm than they will do good. Suffice it to say that I can tell you what I've lived through without having to mention who it was and what happened and all these things and name call and finger point, because all you need to know is exactly what my emotions were when it happened and how I managed after that. The other things are not relevant. It doesn't actually matter who did it or why they did it or how they did it or how I managed all of those things, because the fact is I've survived them. It did not kill me. It did not stop me. It did not hold me down. It's changed the way I've seen things. I mean, it jaded my eyesight a little bit, but to reveal those things do not serve a good enough purpose. They do not help anyone, if that makes sense. So back again with that decision-making process, I tallied up how many people would it hurt if I mentioned these things and how many people would it help. Honestly, it wouldn't help anyone. It doesn't matter who these people were. It's like, do you go and name your rapist? Does it really matter if he's already in jail or if he's already out of the picture? Does it matter? It only hurts you a little bit to bring his name up, and maybe it embarrasses some people who knew about it at the time and didn't see it coming or whatever, but it doesn't actually serve a good enough purpose for your audience who is actually looking to you for advice or how you managed it. What really matters is, okay, this happened. Suffice it to say it was, I don't know, a family member or a close friend or someone you trusted, because most times these stupid things happen with people you trust. And bottom line is you survived. So how did you survive? What were your coping mechanisms? How long did it take? What kind of depression did you go through? Did you have PTSD? Do you still have pop-ups? Are they still triggers for you? How do you deal with these things? And those are actually the more relevant and more important cues as far as surviving traumas. So the decision-making process served me well, again, with that particular situation. And that doesn't mean that it stops there. I mean, I use it every day. There are certain times where I look at a relationship that I've had, and let's say it's waning on its way out the door, and I'm the kind of person, I won't give up for nothing. I'm loyal to a fault. It's probably my greatest and worst asset. I'm loyal, okay? I love to love people. I love to care for people. I love to be intuitive and show people the kind of service that I think everybody should be serving, but they don't. So I'll do it anyway. I'll lead by example. But I also feel like because I've lived through some things, because I chose to study psychology, that I feel on a very, very deep soul level the kinds of things that you go through. So if you were to tell me anything about your life, I would probably sympathize with you and empathize with you, because that is just who I am. And based on what you've told me and based on the things I've seen in reality, I know what is legitimate and what isn't. And for the most part, I will give you the benefit of the doubt. So once again, I use that decision-making process. Does it help anyone for me to be friends with you? Does it hurt anyone for me to be friends with you? And obviously I can't be part of that equation, because then it would become selfish. I want you, so then I count on this side and not on that side. You know what I mean? So if I take myself out of the equation, most times it serves the world at large better if I give you the benefit of the doubt. Obviously it will hurt me. Most times it does hurt me. But the fact is, I have something to offer. I have something to give in the way of kindness and gratitude and empathy and care that may actually help you heal a little bit. And yes, it may hurt me to hear those things about you. It may hurt me to hear that, you've lived through some crazy times or whatever. But it would serve the world better if the love I have to give is showered on you so that you may heal. And that is the kind of service that I want to represent. I want to give you the benefit of the doubt. I want to try again every time. I want to give love a chance to really heal the world, because I really do believe that. I believe that to my core. So once again, that decision-making process really does help me. Me in the sense that it helps me decide what to do next. It helps me decide what's important and what's not important. How to go about my life. How to serve the world at large better. And obviously, I was having a great conversation with a friend of mine in Denmark, and he was like, you know what, yeah, people don't get it. It's not the same. I don't think we can change the world. And I was like, wait, hold up. Wait a minute. Aren't you a rapper because you have something to say? Aren't you in the music business because you feel like that's your voice? That's how you get your message across? Don't you have a crazy ass story to tell the world so that they do understand? Because right now music does speak. It speaks in volumes. It really does resonate with people around the world. And I feel like, okay, yeah, so you're one person and I'm one person. And guess what? If we want to get there, why don't we band together? I know that there are, my friend in the UK, I was talking to him today, DJ Ninja, and he was like, you know what? This particular group of people that we keep trying to help don't want to be helped. They don't want to get ahead. They don't want to do anything. And a lot of times they're like, yeah. They get really excited and then they fall off the face of the earth. You can't find them for nothing. And then they want to blame you later because you didn't help them get to where they wanted to be. But they didn't do the work. And I'm thinking, yeah, Ninja, yeah, okay. I understand you. I hear you. But does that mean we give up? Because in the end, they're the ones that talk shit about everything. They don't want to do the work. They don't want to get to where they want to be. They want to put in the effort or whatever, right? They don't want to stay dedicated. But then who do they point fingers at? They point fingers at the ones who wanted to stick their neck out, don't want money or credit, but want to help you out because we do have the connections. And then they give us a bad name. So you can't help what other people do. I've told you this before, right? It's not my monkeys. It's not my circus. I can't control you. I can't control them. I can't control anybody outside of this body of mine. Okay? I can't control my daughter. Come on. She's supposed to listen to her mom, but she doesn't. It's whatever. But because I know I can't control anyone outside of me, because I know that I stand for something, I want to stand for something, I want my legacy to be, damn, that was what loyalty was about. That is what love is. That girl right there knew what she was doing. She knew what it was to actually serve people and take care of people and make sure people had the opportunity to come forward and do what they needed to do best. It's not enough to have talent. They used to say, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Yeah, that's part of it. The other part is, do you have talent? And then the last part, are you going to work for it? Are you going to put in the work? Or are you going to just sit around and be like, yeah, I have talent, but no one's going to give me a shot? You need all those three things to come into contact. You need all those three things to meld together in such a way that everything brings you the opportunity that you're looking for. There's another saying, right? Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Man, if someone is trying to give you an opportunity, and yeah, okay, there are a million people for the one, for every one person out there that really wants to help you, there are a million other people that want to pretend to offer you something, take what you have, and then kick you to the curb and keep on going. Yeah, there are people like that. But when do you decide who you trust? How do you decide who you trust? Why not take a chance? Seriously, if I was going to go with that mentality, right, oh, somebody's going to take something from me, I could have said, man, to hell with Wendy, I don't want to work for her because what if she takes my ideas? Okay, so what if she takes your ideas? You got a brain. You have a specific set of experiences, a specific skill set. Won't you come up with more? Can anyone take your mind from you? No. They might take one good idea. Maybe two if you're dumb enough to give them two. But can they take your mind? I know I was worried for a while. I want to create t-shirts. I want to, I want to do this. And I was talking to my brother and I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this and this. I know my brother. I can trust him with my life. I know he's not going to dick me over. You know what I mean? But other people, they're like, yeah, what are you going to do? And I'm like, yeah, t-shirts. He's like, yeah, well, tell me about it. I'm like, it's going to be in Tamil. He's like, oh, cool. And then what else? And I'm like, that's it. I'm not telling you nothing else. Because, yeah, I was scared they're going to take my idea from me. And yeah, perhaps they will run with it for a little bit. They'll take the first idea and be like, yeah, it's a hit. Now what do I do? They're going to have to come back to me unless they can use their creativity and imagination and get the next whatever and put it on a t-shirt. But for the most part, and I'm telling you right now, I have a book full of ideas, okay, of everything I would want to put on a t-shirt that's in Tamil or English or whatever. Illustrations, symbols, ideas, all of that. I've got that. I've been collecting them for 10 years. Yes, it's stupid. I've been waiting on this whole damn thing for about 10 years. But at some point, you're going to have to trust. At some point, you're going to have to take that leap. If I hadn't said yes to Wendy when she gave me the opportunity, first of all, I didn't even think she would pick me out of I don't know how many millions of people applied to be a regional vice president. But she picked me, and I was like, damn, she picked me. Now what do I do? All right, let me go do this. And you know what? When she told me how much it was going to cost for a 6-week course, my jaw dropped, and I was like, how am I fucking going to do this? But I'd just gotten a brand new job, and I knew I could. So I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to pay the first month, and then I'm going to pay the rest of it up, and I'll be done. Yeah, the universe had other plans. I had to lose my maid, I had to do this, I had to do that, and it was up and down for a while. But you know what? In August, I finished paying off the course. And from August onwards, it's been nothing but action, 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 action. And I'm getting it there, man. I got some advice from her this morning. We were on a conference call after I dropped my daughter off, and she was like, you know what? Yeah, you're putting in the action, but don't make the mistake I did. Don't wait 6 months before you offer a freebie and start collecting emails for our email list. Don't wait. Because that's exactly what I was doing. I was like, yeah, let me build the brand, let them get to know who I am, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to sell nothing until they know who I am and they trust me. She was like, don't wait. Go ahead and start collecting. Maybe you don't put out a newsletter every week. Maybe you put it out once a month. That's fine. But when you do have something to offer, you want someone to give it to right away. Instead of posting on, Instagram or Facebook and waiting for people to react, you want to send it to an email list. You want to send it to somebody's inbox. So they got it. They're like, yeah, okay, now what? And it made sense. And that's the next thing I need to implement. So I've got a lot of things in the works. And that doesn't stop me, though. I know there are a lot of people out there that are like, man, yeah, I want to be an entrepreneur, but I know I have this idea and I have that idea and I have 10 other ideas and I don't know where to start. Fucking pick one. Pick the easiest one. What's the easiest one to implement? Just pick the easiest one and start. And then once you start the other ones, little by little. Right now I have my hands in so many pots. Some days I don't even know which way is up, okay? But I'm not going to stop because the ideas keep coming. And as I have the ideas, I need to create my network. I need to go talk to people. I need to get in touch with people. I know people who have so many different types of skill sets in so many different areas of life that if I don't talk to them now, if I wait, they're going to forget I exist. I'm going to lose that connection. And relationships need consistency. They need consistent connection to keep them alive. I remember when I first went to the UK and we went to start our record company, I randomly met the guy because I liked the event. He was like, yo, hey, who are you, blah, blah, blah. We started talking. He was like, I need you on my team. And I was like, okay. I don't know shit about music, but I'll help wherever I can. He was like, yeah, you need to, come on, let's do this. So I flew out to London, man. I flew out to London in December of 2014 just to throw this New Year's party with a bunch of people I didn't know. But guess what? In that adventure, in that journey, I met a ton of people. There's a guy out there in France called Vipak, okay? Sri Lankan Tamil rapper or whatever. He looks scary. He's really skinny. I don't know. He seemed really cool and everything. But for a while he dropped off the face of the planet. Okay, we were talking. He was cool and everything. And I was just, catching up and trying to figure out what drove him to do what he was doing. Like, kind of just getting to know people. And he fell off the face of the earth just a couple months ago. This was 2015 I talked to him, right? Now it's 2017, almost the end of 2017. He reaches out and he's like, yo, what's going on? And I'm like, you remember me? And he was like, nah, man, you forgot me. And I was like, don't even start. So this is like the stupid conversation we're having. But then guess what? He fell off again. So the fact is, if you don't have constant communication or connection with someone, you're going to lose that relationship. And trust me, everything is a relationship. You talk to the guy that drives your bus and you see him every morning, that is a relationship. The lady who gives you your bagels and coffee in the morning, that is a relationship. The auntie that sweeps downstairs every morning when we're on the way to school and work, that is a relationship. The people that smile because they recognize your face, that is a relationship. There's one auntie that meets us at the bus stop every morning. She's going on the same bus we are, and you know what? We just struck up a conversation one day, and now every time I see her, I check my phone and I let her know how many minutes before that bus is coming. So she knows whether to get on the bus or not, because it'll tell me on my phone if it's super full or not. Your decisions matter. And while you're making these decisions, yeah, you weigh the consequences and the pros and the cons and all of this stuff. What's the effect going to be if you do this? But I'm also here to tell you that any decision you make, short of killing someone, short of you ate something and you wish you hadn't, okay, you can't undo that really. But every decision you make, you can undo. Trust me. I was engaged to a man, okay? I was about to marry this man. I had been with him for 8 years. It took him 7 years to decide he wanted to marry me. At which point I should have said no anyway, but I didn't. I loved him. I didn't know any better. I was completely infatuated with this man, and he was biding his time is what it felt like with me, okay? I mean, I remember he went off to state trooper school, and he didn't tell his mom. I was the one who had to break it to his mom. I went and visited his mom every week to make sure she was okay, because she was freaking out. State trooper stuff is like no joke. Highway patrol, basically, in Virginia, okay? He's a good man. He had his flaws like everybody else, but for some reason we fell off. We weren't as tight as we once were, okay? And for some reason that relationship crumbled. But even though I said yes when he asked me to marry him, okay? Even though I was wearing an heirloom ring, when I started feeling like it was not right, I realized I had to change. I had to get out of that relationship. I had to stop. And obviously I waited until my heart wasn't in it anymore, and it didn't hurt me to see his face anymore, or to miss phone calls, or for him to diss me, or whatever it was that was going on. I waited until I was emotionally able to cut him off while we were in the same room before I walked away. And fellas, you best believe this is how women operate. They will leave you in their mind before they ever physically leave you. So you need to watch the signs. If they don't engage you as much, if they don't like jump to answer the phone, they don't sound excited to hear from you, I mean, it's not going to always be like that, obviously, but come on. More often than not, they're going to be excited to hear from you. So if you feel like, your lady's falling off a little bit, you need to go back to doing whatever it was you were doing when you were trying to catch her. Okay? And keep doing that. Don't ever stop. And I guarantee you, she won't go nowhere. Unless, of course, she's not feeling it. At that point, you need to talk to each other a little bit more. Anyway, yeah, I mentally left him before I physically left him. It was just painful, and I have never been through such drama in my life, but it was okay. It was what needed to be done. So I was able to undo an engagement after 8 years. We went through college together. All my friends knew us as being together. There was no me without him, okay? And it was hard, but I did it. The next relationship, yeah. I was kind of down in the dumps after this breakup, and this guy happened to seem like a really great father, and I felt really bad for him, and I was thinking, you know what, I wish my dad had been around more, and yeah, fell for this dude. Ended up marrying him. I was with him for about 8 years. Raised his kids, had a kid of my own, went through a whole bunch of drama, dealt with baby mamas, okay? Multiple baby mamas. I was married. And not just like registration married, as in like change my name married. I mean, my dad flew out my family, and we had a Sri Lankan Tamil wedding, and he tied a thali, okay? That kind of wedding, blessed by fire, in front of a Nataraja, where once he finished tying the thali, the Nataraja started turning, okay? Yeah, super auspicious. And that didn't work either. So, as blessed as it seemed to be, it didn't work. And at some point, I decided, you know what? I can't be here. This isn't working. It's not working for you. It's not working for me. And it damn sure isn't working for the kids. It was hurting the kids, and I couldn't bear to see them go through and watch what we were going through and get hurt by it. So I had to walk away. So if I can walk away from an engagement, if I can walk away from a marriage, okay, custody, divorce, all of that shit, I'm telling you, as much as you weigh everything and make a decision, there are some things you can undo. You can undo it. It will not be easy. It will not be pretty. It will not be overnight. But you can undo them. There are other options. Okay? Don't ever feel like you're stuck. And the fact that you feel stuck, that's not a good thing either. That means that whatever that relationship is, it's not serving you. It's not helping you grow. You were not put on this earth to stay stuck. Grow. Live. Go enjoy your life. No, I'm not saying go hoe around either. Like, I got hoes in different area codes. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying go. Find the people that help you dream bigger, that want you to level up and help you level up. Go find a room full of people that are better than you and see if you stay the same. There's no way possible. There's no way possible. And for every bad guy out there or bad girl out there, there's a good guy and there's a good girl, you guys. Have faith. For every group of bad, delinquent friends you have, there is a team of people out there who are willing to put you up, to help you along, to push you forward because they see the potential in you. So don't ever give up. Don't ever feel like you're stuck. That's bullshit. You are not stuck. You are not a tree. You are not stuck. Get up and walk away. Obviously, sometimes you gotta wait till it hurts bad enough for you to get up and walk away. I've told you this analogy before, right? There's a man on a porch with a hound just howling, crying in pain. People walk past the house looking at him like, what the fuck? Will you take care of that dog? Damn, he's making a lot of noise. And then one guy stopped by and was like, yo, man, can you, like, the dog is in pain. Do you see this dog is in pain? And the dude's sitting on a rocking chair like, yep, I know. This idiot is sitting on a nail. And when it hurts him bad enough, he gonna get up. But until then, I'm not gonna move him. He gonna growl at me. I'm just gonna let him be. It's like that. When it hurts you bad enough, when it irritates you bad enough, you will get up. No one can make you do it before then. I know that. I know that better than anyone. Because I was stubborn. I wanted to leave Aaron way before I did. But most people were like, yeah, leave him. And I was like, no, why should I? It was like the opposite. They tell me what to do, and I was like, oh, no, no, I'm not leaving him. It had to be my decision. It had to be on my own time, my own terms. And I get that, yo. I've seen enough crisis in my life to get that. I'm just here to tell you, you are not a tree. Get up and move. If you want to move, get up and move. If you don't want to move, fine, whatever. Put down roots. But you have it in you to change. It's up to you. No one can make you change. You got to decide that shit for yourself. I'm not here to make you change. I'm not here to say, nope, you're not doing good enough. No. You decide. You want to level up, then level up. You want to stay the same, stay the same. That's it to me. Not my monkeys, not my circus. Hell of a rant tonight. But you get the drift, right? Weigh your options, take yourself out of the equation when you make a decision. That is the most just way to make a decision. And when you find yourself stuck in a decision that you've made in the past that no longer serves you, you are allowed to outgrow people, okay? You are allowed to level up. If they don't grow with you, you know what? To hell with them. It's okay. Some people, when they see you growing and getting better, they want to grow and get better too. Great. And some people don't want you to change because you make them feel comfortable. They don't want to change. And that's not okay, especially if you want to grow. You can have roots and wings. You can. You just have to be around the right people. Anyway, don't ever feel like you're stuck, all right? I'm here to tell you otherwise. I'm going to go catch you later. I need to go get some sleep. Till then, y'all take care, okay? Tomorrow. Bye.